Hello everyone, welcome to the national level short-term course on MOOCs, creation of e-contents and open educational resources, organized by the IQAC of Government First Grade College, KR-Puram, Bengaluru. I am Dr. Xavier Pradeep Singh, working as an assistant professor of English at St. Joseph's College, Tiruchirappalli. I am immensely happy to address all of you in this session. You must have already been introduced to MOOCs, their formats and ingredients in the previous sessions by Professor Jagdish Joshi and Dr. Sendilnathan. So, in this session, I will concentrate only on creating interactivities for learner engagement in MOOCs. Let me start with an overview of my session. I will begin with the meaning of interactivity and then we'll go on explaining 4 different levels of interactivity. Finally, I will list out a few tools that are available online for creating interactivities. Do you know the meaning of the word interactivity? Have you ever come across this word anywhere? Let me give you 5 seconds. Can you guess the answer? Okay, I'll reveal the answer for you now. The word interactivity comes from 2 different words, interactive and activity. It's a combination of these 2 words. And the word interactivity is used as a noun. It refers to an activity that involves communication between human beings and computer software. So whenever your students interact with the content through computer software, that can be considered as an interactivity. And the purpose of that activity is to learn something. It could be a skill or knowledge. So your students learn certain things by interacting with the content through computer software. Why do we need interactivities in massive open online courses? Interactivities mainly turn your students into active participants by getting them to do something. They give an opportunity to apply the knowledge your students gained in the course. And interactivities beat monotony in massive open online courses. I suppose you are aware of the 4 different quadrants in designing a MOOC. So while designing a MOOC, we need to have 4 different quadrants. And these 4 quadrants make a MOOC complete. The first quadrant is e-tutorials, which includes video lectures, audio lectures, animations, simulations, video demonstrations, etc. And the second quadrant is e-contents. And this quadrant includes self-instructional materials, e-books, illustrations, tables, graphs, research papers, case studies, presentations, etc. The third quadrant is discussion forum, and in the discussion forum you can find a thread of messages posted by the course instructors, facilitators, and the students. So there happens an interaction among course instructors, facilitators and the learners. So learners also interact with their peers and learn from the discussion forum. And the discussion forum can be used for clarifying students' doubt and sometimes to concretize what they learned in the course. And the final quadrant, the 4th one, is assessment. It includes quizzes, tests, projects and any other assessment or evaluation activities designed by the teacher. All these activities in the 4 quadrants can be considered as interactivities because in some way or the other, they fall into different levels of interactivity, which I'm going to explain in the next slide. So these activities can be considered as interactivities because our students interact with them through computer software. But the level of interaction in these interactivities may vary. There are 4 different levels of interactivities. Level 1, passive interactivities. Level 2, limited interactivities. And the level 3, complex interactivities. The last level, the level 4, is real-time interactivities. Deciding what content needs to be made interactive and designing good interactivities at different levels call for good instructional design. Instructional designers choose the right interactivities according to the content and the learning objectives to make learning engaging for learners. So as instructional designers, we teachers need to be familiar with educational theories behind writing learning objectives. This is where Bloom's taxonomy comes to our aid. I'm not sure whether all of you are familiar with Bloom's taxonomy, so I'll briefly explain what Bloom's taxonomy is. Bloom's taxonomy is a set of 3 hierarchical models used to clarify educational learning objectives into levels of complexity and specificity. The 3 lists cover the learning objectives in cognitive, affective, and psychomotor domains. But the cognitive domain has received wide attention in traditional education as it is used to structure the learning objectives, assessment, and learning activities in our curriculum. This taxonomy has been named after Benjamin Bloom, as he chaired the committee of educators who devised the taxonomy. So according to this taxonomy, there are 6 levels in our cognitive domain, starting with remembering, understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating, and creating. Without remembering a fact, you cannot understand it. And in the same way, without understanding, you cannot apply or analyze, evaluate, or create something. So we need the skills in the basic level in order to attain the higher level skills. These 6 skills can be further divided into 2 groups: lower order thinking skills, which includes the lower 3 levels, and the second one is higher order thinking skills, which includes the highest 3 levels. Let me explain the first level of interactivity, which is known as passive interactivity. Passive interactivity is called passive because learners are often restricted to reading on-screen information, looking at static image, listening to an audio recording, and proceeding to the next page in a website or a course site. Course content at this level is relatively basic, often presented in a linear manner. Students are generally required to click on a button to interact with the content through the software. That is why it is passive. You just click to go to the next page or to the previous page or to any page in the course website, or even to answer a question. So you can create passive interactivities if you want to communicate simple facts and concepts to your students. Some of the components that we usually find at this level of interactivities are navigational icons, buttons, or links which allow to move to the preceding or the following page in a course website or in an ebook. Static images, graphs, or tables. Links to videos, podcasts, glossaries or other resources. So when you click on the link, you will be taken to that particular resource. Simple assessment questions such as true or false, where you are just required to make a click. So you click either false or true to answer the question. Or it could even be the multiple choice question where you click on any one of the options. Let me now teach you a mini lesson on the next generation learners. So the main purpose of this mini lesson is to demonstrate the first level of interactivities, that is passive interactivities in action. So throughout this mini lesson, you will see elements that are usually passively interactive. Okay, you will find static images or simple videos and simple assessment tasks. At the same time, you will also understand a few characteristics of the next generation learners. Unfortunately, in India, we don't have much research studies to understand the characteristics of the next generation learners. So I'm drawing some ideas from the West. There is a concept called cultural generations. In the West, they have classified generations according to their characteristics. Generally, they are classified according to their year of birth. So we have the generation Alpha who were born after 2013. Remember, this is in the West. In India, it may slightly vary. The year of birth might slightly vary in India. And the generation Z were born between 96 and 2013. This generation Z is known as next generation learners because they are in schools and colleges now. Generation Alpha might be in their KGs or they might be ready to start their school education by now. So if you look at this picture carefully, you will understand that there are several generations and each generation has got their own features and their characteristics were shaped by what happened in those decades, what happened in those years in their lifetime. So if you look at the range of birth years for Generation Z, you can guess what happened in those years. Internet was invented and computers became very popular, smartphones were introduced, and personal computers were available at almost many of the homes, and personal internet connection, mobile internet connection, apps. So a lot of things happened between 1996 and 2013. So the generation is that their characteristics, their behavior, attitude, everything was shaped by all these things. So generally the generation is that are tech savvy. Tech savvy in the sense they can learn things related to technology quickly. Okay, quicker than the previous generation, whereas the generation Alpha is more techno savvy, I should say. Now you are going to watch a video which lists out a few characteristics of Generation Z. After watching the video, you are going to answer a few questions. I'm going to demonstrate a few questions that fall into passive interactivities. So as you see on this page, I have a multiple choice question. For this question, I need to just make a click. And then you also see back, next buttons, navigational buttons. So when I click on the button, it goes to the next page. Again, this is passive. This is a perfect example for passive interactivity, a true or false question. So without even thinking much, or I should say you're more passive when you interact with this activity. So, the interactivities, I mean the passive interactivity is very basic, and it just checks your knowledge, it just checks your memory. So the level passive interactivity equates with the lowest two levels in Bloom's taxonomy. Okay, so that is why I said you can use passive interactivities if you want to communicate simple facts and concepts with your students. So it just checks your your memory and understanding. Let's now move on to the second level of interactivities. The second level of interactivity is again basic, but learners have more control and involvement than the first level of interactivities, which is passive interactivities. This means that learners can do much more than just read, watch, or navigate, and they will be able to interact with simple animations, clickable tabs, multiple choice questions, sequencing, and occasional drag and drop activities. Some of the components that we usually find at this level of interactivities are click to reveal interactions such as timelines, hotspots, matching, drag and drop, click on images, tabs, or numbers. Animations and whiteboard videos, assessment in the form of drag and drop, fill in the blanks, and match the pair activities. There is a considerable use of media and audio in this level. So the textual overload is reduced and learners are allowed to retain information easily. Now I've got another activity to demonstrate limited interaction. Here we have an activity where we have to find words that are synonymous. So it's like matching the pair activity. So let me match the words that are synonymous. Okay, I matched the first pair, second pair. Okay. Now we have got another matching the pair activity, but this time we have to match the words with pictures. Skyscraper. This is a duplex. This is an apartment. And one more activity, fill in the blanks activity. So in the fill in the blank activity, I am going to drag and drop the words in the appropriate place. The second level of interactivities, that is limited, can measure the second and third levels of Bloom's taxonomy, apply, understanding, and then applying. Okay, we got correct answer. So from these three activities you can understand how limited my interaction is with the software. It was not completely interactive, that is, it is not advanced interactive, it's basic, but I am able to have some more control over the software. The level 2 interactivity, that is limited interactivity, can measure the second and third levels of Bloom's taxonomy, that is understanding and applying. Let's now move on to the third level of interactivity, complex interactivity. In the third level of interactivities, there is a great deal of customization and complexity. It includes activities that appeal to the right brain aptitudes of empathy, storytelling, and play. Watch, try, do simulations, courses with gamified elements, customized graphics and illustrations. It could be backgrounds, characters relevant to the topic being discussed, and complex animations and assessments with scenarios and simulations. I would like to give an example for the third level of interactivity by showing you a 3D object. Can you guess what it is? It's not coronavirus, it's animal cell. So it's a 3D object with which you can interact in whatever way you want. You can either pierce through the cell, you can see through the holes that are on the surface of the cell. You can see different parts of the cell, nucleus, mitochondria, and then the outer surface. Okay, even you can go inside the cell and you can see the layers. This is a customized illustration, so it's a 3D image, and it allows complex interaction. That's why I call it as complex interactivity. The third level of interactivities compel learners to evaluate situations, utilize their knowledge, and take decisions. Since learners need to apply their acquired knowledge, this level measures the third and the fourth levels of Bloom's taxonomy, applying and analyzing. Now we'll move on to the last level of interactivity, that is real-time interactivity. This fourth level of interactivity is the highest level in massive open online courses. Here, learners are free to learn and practice new skills as well as have control over their own learning. So students take responsibility for their own learning by interacting with the computer software in the fourth level of interactivities. In this level, you can find interactive videos and scope for social learning through discussion forums, augmented reality or virtual reality exercises where you will have 360-degree videos or images, and you will also have completely gamified or scenario-based courses or assessments. This level of interactivity is apt when you want to help your learners understand multifaceted and complex issues and train them on strategic level skills as well as bring about a change in their attitude or behavior. This level of interactivity encourages learners to use online discussion forums to find answers to queries from those who know. It could be their peers or experts. By discussing their queries in the discussion forum, they increase their knowledge. What you now see on the screen is an example for the fourth level of interactivity, real-time interactivity. It is a 360-degree image. It is a virtual reality based image. It's a 360-degree image. You can see on all the sides, even the sky you can see, the floor. This is Shakespearean theatre. Okay. In literature classes, especially in Master of Arts, in MA English Literature, students are taught, when they are taught Shakespeare, they will be explained different parts of Shakespeare's theatre. This is Shakespeare's Globe Theatre. So you can see the stage, the platform, and the ground where people stood and watched the play, where the lower class people stood and watched the play, and aristocrats were sitting on these galleries. You can even see where you are standing, the seat numbers, and the people who are around you, you can see. So this is the best example for real-time interaction. I'll show you one more example, which is a game-based assessment, gamified assessment. So this is a game which makes use of a quiz. For this game, I need to choose an avatar for me. It is a character, an avatar for me. Let me choose this one. Okay. And then I click on it. Now the game starts. So as I told you earlier, it's a quiz. So the quicker I answer the question, the higher my scores will be. Okay. So when I get some score, I will be climbing the mountain. And if I give a wrong answer, I will stay in the same place. I won't run. I won't climb on the tree. I won't climb on the mountain. Interesting, isn't it? And there is also a leaderboard. And the fourth level of interactivities aim at the third, the fourth, and the fifth, even the sixth levels of Bloom's taxonomy, that is applying, analyzing, evaluating, and creating. All the activities that I demonstrated so far were created in the web tool called Nearpod. You can also create those activities for your classes. All you have to do is go to nearpod.com, nearpod.com, and then you have to sign up for an account. When you sign up, you will get a free account. The basic account is free. Once you sign up, you will land in a page called library, where all your resources and activities are saved. So to create a new lesson in Nearpod, you need to click on the plus button at the top right hand corner. Click lesson in Nearpod. It is almost similar to PowerPoint slides. So each activity is a slide. So if you click on add slide, you will be prompted to choose content or activities. You can choose whichever content you want to create and then add some more customization, and then you can create some activities It could be a gamified quiz or an open-ended question, matching pair activity, fill in the blanks, memory test, or it could be a poll. If you want to create content, you can create an audio file, video files, even the website you can insert into your lesson, PDF files, and then create your lesson. Once you add all the activities that you want in your lesson will look like this. It will look like a sequence of slides. You can even sort them out. You can arrange them in whatever way you want. After adding all slides, click Save and Exit. And if you want to use that lesson in your class, you can click on Live Lesson and a code will be generated. You can share the code with your students and they can use the code in their mobile devices or in their computer to access your lesson. So far I was demonstrating the features available in Nearpod and how you can use it in your classroom. Let me now move on to another interesting web tool called H5P. H5P is an open source software and it is very simple to create interactivities using this tool. You can embed the activities that you created using H5P into your massive open online courses hosted in Moodle, Canvas, WordPress, or any other MOOC platforms. To create interactivities in H5P, you need to go to h5p.org. Once you are on the website, you will be able to create a free account. As I already told you, you can integrate H5P interactivities into Canvas, Blackboard, Moodle, Brightspace, Drupal, WordPress, or any other MOOC platforms that you have. So let me now, I have already created an account, so I have just signed in now. So once you are into the website, you can create activities by clicking this button, Try Out H5P. Okay, so below your name, you will see this option, Try Out H5P. This is where you have to click on to create new interactivities. Before trying out H5P, I want to show you some examples of interactivities that you can create using H5P. There are 4 categories of content types that you can create in H5P. The first one is games, game related activities. And you can use H5P for creating interactivities for any subject, not just for language. You can also create for science, mathematics, whatnot. You can create for all the other subjects. So in the first category, games, you can create an arithmetic quiz, find the word, that is word grid, flashcards, iframe embedder, image pairing, memory game, personality quiz, virtual tour, that is 360-degree image, which I showed you previously about Shakespeare Theatre, and then course presentation, and you can prepare interactive slides, and then branching scenarios. And the multimedia category, you can create a sequence of images that is known as agamotto, or you can create an audio recording if you want your students to if you want to give a speaking assignment to your students, and then they can speak and record their voice and submit it to you. You can generate interactive chart like a pie chart or a bar chart, or you can create collage of images. You can create dictation activities, flashcard, image hotspot, image sequencing, image slider, and then speak the word set, You can create timelines, interactive videos. The third category is questions. You can create dialogue cards, fill in the blank activity, drag the words activity, and then mark the words activity, multiple choice questions, personality quiz, questionnaires, quizzes, and then you can create advanced fill in the blanks activity and summary. And the fourth category of tools, you can create course presentation. You can also have a look at some of the examples. Say for example, I want to see how a find the word activity looks like. So just click on the activity. You will have an example here. It's loading, just a moment. Yeah, you have an activity here. So you have to find the names of these countries in this grid. Let me try finding Paris. Okay, I have Paris here. Okay, I found the first word. In the same way, you should try finding other words. Okay, I have Moscow here. Okay, when you find the word, that gets automatically ticked here. And then you can also check your point here. Okay, after creating the activity, you can click embed and then you will get the code, HTML code for this activity. You can copy the code from here and paste it on your website. Now let me show you how to create an activity here. So for that you have to log into H5P, and then on your account page you will have try out H5P. Click on that, and then you have to choose the type of activity that you want to create. Okay, so you have a list of activities here. Let me create let me create fill in the blanks activity. So once I click on it, it gets loaded. So I have to give task description here and then the text block. Okay, so in the text block you have to give the complete sentence without any blank. Okay, so the capital city of New Delhi is the capital city of India. This is the sentence I've given. Okay, and remember I want to remove the word New Delhi from the sentence and make it blank. So they have given instructions here. It's simple. If you want to make this as blank, add an asterisk symbol before and after the word, and then that will become the blank. Okay, and then you can also specify the scores, feedback, everything. And once you click on save, the activity gets saved and you will be able to copy the activity. See, this is how the activity looks like. So if you write New Delhi here and check, that's the correct answer. Okay, so this is how you create. And then as I already told you, you can embed the activity, but the best way of creating H5P is to install H5P plugin into your MOOC platform. Say for example, it is available in Moodle as a free plugin. Install it there, and then you can start creating it. Installing H5P into Moodle platform is a bit technical, but nowadays it is by default H5P plugins are available in Moodle websites. So just you have to enable Moodle plugin, and then start creating activities. So basically in my session, I try to help you understand different kinds of interactivities and how they vary, how they can be included into your MOOCs. I also demonstrated how you can create interactivities in Nearpod and H5P. If you have any further question, you can always write to me at pradeepsingh@gmail.com. Hope you had a nice time in the session. Thank you.